Other interesting political news, you have Democrats introducing a bill to stack the Supreme Court after, for one time in decades, you actually have more constitutionalists on the Supreme Court than not. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Sarah Insgler, who's a person around the link X Twitter, saying, quote, not a single quote in the entire piece from anyone who opposed the court packing or any mention of Biden's own SCOTUS commission filled with liberal law professors that threw cold water on this idea. Which, yeah, to give Biden a modicum of credit, he has not been as extreme as some of the leftists we've seen lately, including Kamala Harris wanting to ban and confiscate AR-15s and other guns, which Biden famously said in the 2020 convention, or primary rather, that you can't do that with an executive order, it's unconstitutional. And again, the current ruling is you cannot ban guns in common usage. Granted, they don't care about they really don't care about what the law says these days. They'll just make it say something else. And many historical figures have said, yeah, you don't want to do this. Also, never forget, you actually have someone sitting on the Supreme Court who cannot define a woman. I'll never forget when Biden, now he has a lot more discredits and credits, but he chose someone based on their race and gender when he was choosing Supreme Court nominees, not their qualifications, thereby decreasing the number of qualified applicants because he said, I'm only going to take a couple resumes, not all the resumes. Well, Miss Jackson Brown, when she was being questioned, they asked her to define what a woman is, and she famously said, I'm not a biologist. That mentally vacuous person now sits on the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, this also got 60 likes on the good old X Twitter now. Go ahead now. It's behind a paywall, but you can sign up with a free email address for the Washington Post. Not that I recommend it. You just hear my wonderful voice, and I'll read some of it. As a joke there. It's an okay voice, maybe. Now, this is originally, again, from Justin Juvenile and Toby Raji, who are writers at the Washington Post. They say, quote, sweeping bill to overhaul the Supreme Court would add 6 justices. The legislation by Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, is one of the most ambitious efforts to remake the Supreme Court following controversies over rulings and ethics. They quote, a sweeping bill introduced by a Democrat senator earlier this week on Wednesday would greatly increase the size of the Supreme Court, make it harder for the justices to overturn laws, require justices to undergo audits, and remove roadblocks for high court nominations. Legislation by, again, Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat from Oregon, is one of the most ambitious proposals to make the high court as if it had suffered a sharp decline in public approval after the contentious and decisions ethics scandals in recent years. It has little chance of passing in the moment since Republicans have generally opposed efforts to overhaul the court. I'm going to stop that quote right there. Never forget, there are a lot of rhinos in office, pejoratively known as Republicans in name only. So there might be a lot of Republicans, but in terms of how they vote, yeah, I would not be too optimistic for them to actually guard the Bill of Rights of the Constitution these days. They've flipped many times. Again, there are some good ones, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I wouldn't count on it. And they say, quote, Wyden, who chairs the Senate Finance Committee, said the goal of the bill is to restore public confidence in the battered institution. Well, yeah. I'm not worried about them being popular. I'm worried about them ruling on cases that align with the Founding Fathers' ideals. Though, perhaps that's just me. He said he hopes it restores parts of their brand, and the whole package is not embraced, even if the whole package isn't embraced by lawmakers. He says, quote, it's not an atomic secret that the process for selecting justices is politicized. We've got this thoroughly politicized process resulting in a Supreme Court that has now frequently issued sweeping rulings to overturn laws and upend precedents. We are proposed a way to restore the balance of the three branches of government, which is, oh, that's hilarious. All the lawfare of all the branches of government, the Democrats these days, yeah, now they want balance. Well, yeah. I was trying to think of a funny, like old-timey swear or pejorative term. Yeah, They quote, the bill's most significant measure would increase the number of justices from 9 to 15 over the next 12 years. Yeah, The staggered format over 2 or 3 administrations aimed at diminishing the chance that one political party would pack the courts with nominees. Yeah, another trend you see. If they're not winning, they change the rules so that they can win. For decades, leftists had a majority on the Supreme Court. Did Republicans do anything? No. They just let it stand. And again, you have their nominations. But now, of course, that there is more constitutionalists on the Supreme Court, now they want to flip everything. They want to change the whole game because they're losing. Like children. They say, quote, the bill would also require a ruling of 2/3 of the High Court and the Circuit Court of Appeals rather than a simple majority to overturn laws passed by Congress. Biden said that the current court has been too quick to discard precedent and curtail rights by narrow majorities. The legislation will also require the Supreme Court nominees to be automatically scheduled for a vote in the Senate if their nominations have been lingered in the committee for 180 days. Bill measures would prevent senators from blocking a president's nominee by refusing to hold a vote for them, which Again, both sides have done that. He also says, let's scroll down more and more. Talking about that. Another provision in Biden's bill to expand the number of federal justice circuits from 13 to 15, adding more than 100 district court judges and 60 appellate level judges. Wow. Now, the only thing I think is moderately interesting that I actually would agree with says Supreme Court justices must report income. Dividends, that's about it I'm interested in. Property sales gifts. The bill would also bolster financial checks and disclosures to transparencies, require IRS to initiate audit, tax nominees, blah, blah, blah. Another measure would allow 2/3 of a vote of the court to force a fellow justice to recuse from a case. Yeah, that'd be a great way to, that's an even better way to get a supermajority. See, I don't think there's much substance to this here. They'd also established a term limit as well. So now it can only be serving for 18 years as opposed to a lifetime appointment. Which again, this had served them for decades, and yet, because of their bad planning, I mean, they decided, oh yeah, now they want limits. Yeah, they're not doing this for you and I. They're doing it for themselves or self-serving reasons. I mean, one of the best examples of selfishness, which ironically hurt the leftist folks, shot themselves in the foot. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was so egotistical, so narcissistic and keeping a hold on her power. She decided, well, I'm not going to step down when Obama's in office. I'm going to keep this until my final dying days. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg expired when Trump was in office, which led to him appointing someone who actually believes in the Constitution, and a constitutionalist, as we call them, and that helped constitutionalists have a majority the first time of Supreme Court in my lifetime. Again, she chose not to step down when Obama was in office. They could have done that. Strategically, they should have. Some people allegedly were telling her, like, pressuring her, you should do this now. Then later they bullied another guy to get off the court. But, yeah, she just wanted to stay, she wanted to hold on to power for that long. Let's see. And of course, they also wanted to add an amendment that would prohibit blanket immunity for presidents, following the recent ruling, another ruling they don't like. I also say that, also reform. Yeah, let's see if there's any other substance in this. Let's see. Then focusing on the term limits. And yeah, I don't believe they're doing it. Now, they say there's not much chance of this passing. Which, again, I'm skeptical because, obviously, I can count on my hand how many times politicians have done the right thing for our country, and left and the right. So I'm pretty skeptical. Again, this would be revolutionary for our country. Hopefully that's not it's just metaphor. But yeah, with the importance of the Supreme Court, and again, I would also say they've acquiesced from a couple of cases I think they should have taken up, to be frank. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this because it will never end. They'll just keep packing it and packing it and packing it. Before you know it, you have 100 people on the Supreme Court. It's not a realm of possibility. Never forget the age-old saying, a slippery slope, it's not theory, it's a fact. But again, they say it's a very low odds it'll actually pass. I'm actually really surprised to get more views on Google X Twitter. Got about 60 likes from Sarah Isgler, who's when I first stumbled upon it, that was the first person I saw actually posted about it. And hopefully this, again, they're saying it's a small odds it'll actually pass, and it has to go through the House. And I understand there's many steps I would take for this actually to pass, but definitely quite concerning. Let me know in the comments though, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.